Because I started making YouTube videos, I now have a full year of my life documented. I started my 25th year on a weekend ski trip with Jackson, my first ever ski trip.
I'm excited. I like road trips, so.
I learned that skiing is much harder than it looks, and I still get embarrassed when I fail in public.
Yesterday I learned that skiing is very hard, and I should have taken a lesson. It was a struggle. I have yet to actually ski down a hill.
I actually sat in the car and cried after falling down a mountain for a full hour. Still, I had so much fun spending time with Jackson, road tripping, being in the mountains, and just getting away from daily life. I haven't talked about it at all on YouTube, but my parents have been going through a divorce for the last 2 years. And that, along with all the repercussions of it, has been an extremely hard experience. For my 25th birthday, I wanted to get away from it all and spend a peaceful weekend with Jackson. I am embarrassed that I let my failure at skiing affect me so much, but it's actually a good starting point for what I learned throughout the year. In March, we found out one of my best friends was having another baby. The older I get, the more deeply I value my friendships. I feel so lucky to be a part of a group of girls who are supportive and inclusive and always there to hype each other up. I'm not someone who needs to talk to my friends every single day, and sometimes I worry that I'm not a good friend because of that. I learned in therapy this year that honoring my boundaries is a healthy thing to do, and I'm so thankful to have friends who love me the same whether we see each other every day or once every few weeks. Also in March, after falling down a YouTube rabbit hole of female bodybuilders, I decided I wanted to compete in a bodybuilding competition.
I really need to kick it up a notch if I want to compete and not look totally out of place.
Even saying that out loud felt impossible to me. And I was really worried that people would think I was going to embarrass myself.
I'm going to show you guys kind of my starting physique later on, which is weird. It's not something I've ever done before.
Mostly, I was scared to fail. But thankfully, the who cares part of me took over long enough to post a video declaring my intentions. From that point on, fitness became more of a priority for me than it had ever been before. In April, Jackson and I celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary with a trip to Hot Springs, Arkansas. We made it!
And come with me. They have a Sega.
We got married young, at 20 and 21, and our relationship is without a doubt the best thing I could have in life.
And you do believe in ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts?
Do you believe in ghosts?
I do not. Do you?
Yeah.
That summer was a fun one.
Yes! Go!
That was good. That was good.
It finally felt somewhat normal after everything with the pandemic over the last year and a half.
What does that mean?
That means social!
There was a float trip, a goddess-themed bachelorette party,
I was right next to my tattoo, and so I was like, oh! It was like a pepperoni fell off.
and lots of pool days.
You want to die today!
Toward the end of summer, it was time to start bikini prep.
Hello, and welcome to the Bikini Prep Diaries.
That meant hiring a coach and starting the dieting process to get lean enough for the show. I fully expected the coach to tell me I wouldn't be ready for another year, but she said I could compete in 20 weeks at the end of November. So I started weekly check-ins, tracking everything I ate, and following the workout plan from my coach. Also in July, I reached 4,000 watch hours and my YouTube channel became monetized. Something that felt crazy but exciting, considering how much I loved creating videos.
I am just in such a motivated mindset with YouTube. I don't know. I get kind of crazy when I'm editing a video. I just want to do the entire thing right then and there. And it's such a state of flow for me. I love it so much.
Over the next few months, bikini prep started taking up more time and energy. The hardest days of prep were ones where family drama happened. There were multiple ups and downs and tensions in a certain relationship, and I was trying to learn how to set boundaries and hold them steady when they were being ignored. I think having bikini prep to focus on helped me because I had a place that was just for me, and it forced me to prioritize my own needs. I have a tendency to feel selfish and feel like I'm never doing enough for other people. I expected the people around me to either not care about my bodybuilding goals or think that I was selfish for spending so much time on something that only impacted me. But what actually happened was the people who love me went out of their way to show me support. In August, we went to our first concert since the pandemic started. We saw Samantha Crane, and I cried at how beautiful her songs were in person. I've listened to her albums many times on walks, and her music connects with me in that deep way that only authentic art can. By September, dieting was getting harder, but I stayed focused. Documenting the process on YouTube was great accountability.
Today I'm going to show you a full day of eating 7 weeks out from competition.
My days were repetitive. Gym, work, meal prep, sleep, repeat. But boring consistency is what brings real change. It was in September that I also realized I needed a different career. My job was a good job, but it was lacking fulfillment, and that lack was becoming more and more oppressive. In a moment of clarity, I decided to become a therapist and applied to a master's program for counseling psychology.
And I am also working on applying to grad school to study psychology. So that's a new little part of my intro.
In October, me, Jackson, and our friend Danny started a Gilmore Girls podcast. Jackson always has lots of creative ideas going, like making music, YouTube videos, and podcasts. He's a big reason I've gotten better at just doing things for the heck of it and not overthinking as much. October was filled with lots of fall festivities, beautiful days, and even a new baby. November hit, and my mood started changing more drastically. I was excited for the competition, but also really, really scared. I had nights where I cried and felt so angry at myself for thinking I could do something like this. I knew I was getting in my own head, but I didn't know how to stop it. I also had more confrontation in that difficult relationship, and that made me want to stop everything and hide. Walking on stage in a tiny bikini and asking to be judged is pretty much the opposite of hiding. I was proud of myself and how much hard work I had put into this. It was the getting on stage and being the center of attention part that I was scared of, especially since I would be seeing both my parents in the same room for the first time since they started their divorce.
I don't know why I'm putting more pressure on myself. I think it's just obviously not a great idea to critique your body every single day, obviously.
Eventually, though, it was competition day.
We're in between the sessions. It went well.
My friends showed up and made me feel so special. Doing something hard and putting yourself out there is scary, but it gives the people around you an opportunity to encourage and support you. Without taking that risk, I wouldn't have realized just how much love I have in my life. The competition was probably the peak of my year, simply because it proved to me that I could make something out of nothing. What I mean by that is I literally just decided one day to do this thing that I had never seen anyone do in real life. No one told me, hey, you should check this out. I think you could do it. I decided I wanted to, learned how to get there, and went out and did it. I learned at age 25 that life is all about the choice I make right here and right now. If I can get out of my own way, I can truly accomplish anything. After the competition, it felt great to get back to a more relaxed lifestyle.
Apples and peanut butter is one of my favorite snacks ever, and I have not had it in so long because I was prepping for this bodybuilding show, and I'm so excited. It's just so good. You can't go wrong.
My brother stayed with us for the holidays. This was our second year of holidays with our parents no longer together. It was still hard, but we're learning how to operate in this new dynamic. With all the extra time I had no longer prepping for competition, I decided on a whim to do Vlogmas and post a new video every other day throughout December. This was another hard challenge since I still work a full-time job, but I wanted to stretch myself and create content just for fun, just to try new things out. I've always had a fear of failure, a crippling fear of it even. Putting myself out there on YouTube has helped me come to terms with that more than anything else. Creating videos puts me in a flow state every single time. I could spend hours upon hours scripting and filming and editing, but then putting it out there to be viewed, interpreted, criticized, and questioned by anyone, that part still scares me. However, the more I create, the more I realize creation has inherent value as a verb, not only as a noun. The act of creating a video is where growth and expression happen, regardless of how it's received. In December, we also adopted our cat Lucy, and Jackson graduated from college. In January, I started to struggle. After spending months prepping for competition, dieting, and sticking to strict workout plans, I had to reevaluate my mindset around food and fitness. I'm still working on finding a balance with this. It's much harder to listen to internal hunger cues when I had been following prescribed macros for months. I kept trying to get back into a consistent workout routine, but life had other plans. One week I had a back injury, the next week we had a death in the family, and after that, we got COVID. And suddenly, it's February. Right now, we're in the process of buying our first home, a process that went much more quickly than I expected. I will actually be spending my 26th birthday moving. The day before my birthday, I have an interview for the master's program I applied to back in September, and I'll hear if I got it a week after that. 25 was a big year. I learned about setting goals, discipline, boundaries, and that I still have plenty of room to grow. If you've been watching my videos for a day or for a year, thank you. Creating videos has given me a greater sense of purpose, and the encouragement from you all means more than I can express. Coming up next, year 26.